Video and audio, or just video?
Yeah, like you're frozen on my end right now.
And we're live.
I think though only video. I think audio we're getting you pretty clear.
Yeah. We'll work with you, Sam. It's okay. We know you're out there in the country. Hey, folks. Hello and welcome back to the second Do As We Do live. We're going to be here every Thursday night, and our poor friend Sam out there. I think the cows are messing with him today, y'all. So as we get our cameras going, we make sure that we've shared everywhere, and Sam might come in and out, but that's okay. We're good with that. We're all here, and we appreciate y'all because we all believe sharing is caring, and we also believe that getting educated is the best way for caregivers and their loved ones to live a better tomorrow. So I'm going to tell you, I'm that Kimberly, and this is
B.
And we have Diana. I'm a soap addict. Please wave on camera as well.
We're all here.
We have a little bit of playback there. All right. And JD, Jeff Duerstock is joining us today as well. And Brian Crawford. Wave. And Sam is still frozen, but that's okay. That's what happens.
Let's wave for Sam.
We love you, Sam. Somebody.
He's gonna hate how he got frozen too.
Maybe you know what?
That wasn't the best shot, Mark. I'd be so mad.
I'm just going to remove him for just a smidge. Oh, he's coming back now. He's back. Are you back, Sam?
I think so. For now.
So wave, Sam. We already introduced. We're adjusting. So see, this is a little disclaimer, y'all. This is what happens when you're live. And if we all can laugh about it, it'll definitely relieve any kind of stress and anxiety all of us would possibly have. So, okay. Today's topic is an homage to all of our mothers, since this weekend is Mother's Day. So salute to our moms. And we're going to be talking about how our moms know best, and hopefully giving you some strategies for caregiving that we learned from our mom. And if there is time, I'll share with y'all what I learned about becoming a caregiver. Woo! Somebody's phone is on there. I'll share a little bit about my caregiving experience and how I relay that back to my mom. So, first, let me just acknowledge the audience and let everyone know that we are on the Do As We Do Facebook page. We are also on our Instagram, Do As We Do, our YouTube, Do As We Do, my personal LinkedIn, and a couple of other places, my personal IG. This is live, but there will be a replay, so you can catch this on the replay always. We just want to be everywhere you are, or you want to watch this. So that's why we're doing this. So please, if you have comments or questions, leave them in the comments, I should say. And did I forget anything?
No.
Okay.
You're there.
I'm there. All right. Well, let's jump into our conversation. So who's taking it first with Mother Knows Best? I think that would be my friend Jeff.
Oh, I'm up. Well, first off, happy Mother's Day in advance to all the mothers that have maybe joined us, as well as my counterparts here. Again, we're really excited just to kind of talk about some things that our mothers passed down to us. And, one item I wanted to share was I learned my organization from my mom. I have many stories I could share of how she taught me to be really well organized. And I'm hoping some of you maybe have some stories to share as well. But, one item I'll talk about is we always had this legal pad in the kitchen area. And, mom would write down different things that we would need, like whether we saw the milk was low. But we had a menu at the bottom of this paper Monday through Sunday, and we would help write what we would be having. And then we would make sure we would go around the kitchen and see if we needed to purchase those items. So that helped us be really organized for when we went to the store to, in the mornings, my sister and I, we would wake up and, we would know exactly what was for dinner that night because every day was planned out. So,
Wow, that's
one
some
thing we
serious
never.
organization skills.
Yeah, I mean, and organization skills are going to be so important in lots of things in life, but especially in caregiving.
Absolutely.
You think about the various things you'll have to do from a financial planning aspect to just planning with the rest of the family members. So I mean,
Grocery shopping.
Organization is a big deal.
Absolutely. And grocery shopping, planning your doctor's visits, plan. So you're definitely going to be ahead of the game, Jeff, because I am organized in my mind, and sometimes it takes, Brandon over here to help me get a little more organized in other places. But that is truly a skill set that every future caregiver and current caregiver either needs or develops in time.
Yeah, especially like medication, food, doctor's appointments, like that really adds up. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it probably brings some normalcy to the chaos,
Yeah. It relieves a lot of stress and anxiety, I can tell you that.
I'd say my mom is the most
You're not
meticulous
just keeping
organizer
track of
that
things for
I
yourself.
know.
It's for you and the person you're taking care of.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
We're going to take Sam out there because he's delayed. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah.
I'll put him back in a second. Sorry, Sam.
I said that my mom is probably the craziest meticulous organizer that I know, and I struggle to keep up with her, but trying to take some pointers and carry that forward. I think it does definitely help. I can see, Jeff, where you're coming from on that for sure.
I would put my mom up against your mom.
Whoa, that's fighting.
Yeah, sounds like there's a
My mom's
competition.
better.
Now, let's not be. We definitely don't want to be starting mom fights or mom jokes.
Mama.
Well, I will
Wait a
move to
minute.
talk about my mom
Okay.
and what I learned from her. I think the tip that I would take from her is that she is just relentlessly dedicated to her caregiving. She shows up every day. I would say it's a relentlessness. And I think that's what you have to have because there's a lot of days that that aren't going to be awesome as you want them to be, and there's going to be a lot of days that you question your resolve. I think in general, your dedication to your loved one and your caregiver scenario just comes from the unconditional love that you have for your family member. But I think you have to use that as fuel to keep you going.
Absolutely.
She was kind of trained in that too. Like I believe her relentlessness trait comes from her upbringing in her faith. So her father was a preacher. Her mother played the organ on Sundays, and I won't get too philosophical here, but I believe that religion teaches you to have two things: is unyielding faith and unconditional love. Does she get tired? Of course. Does it get frustrating? Most definitely. But does she always do the right thing? Absolutely not. But that's okay. And I think about how right now during this coronavirus is everything uncertain and scared. She's scared 100%. We talk about it almost daily. Yet she still shows up every day for my grandma, her mom, with her mask and her gloves on anyway. She lives across the backyard, and she'll go over there every single day, and she gets up dedicated to do it all over again in hopes that she can bring a little love and peace and happiness to my grandma each day. I think that's actually I just realized talking this out, that's why she's also so darn stubborn too. Resolute she is, for sure.
Yeah, that's dedication. Dedication. I feel the unconditional love of our mothers is something that, is, well, I know for me, the unconditional love that my mother gave me is what makes me a caregiver that just shows up and is determined to make it, and to keep on going for her. So I get where you're coming from, Brian, for sure. Before we jump into the next, before I hand this to someone, I wanted to make sure. Sam, are you there? Are you okay?
I'm here. I don't know if you can see me or hear me.
We can hear you, but you're frozen. So, well, before I pass it to Diana, I want to say hi to Jean Powers is watching, and hello.
Hey, Mom.
Aw. Jeff's mom is on. All right. Yeah. And Carrie Goodman, thank you all very much for joining us, and Frank Gomez. Sam, let's go to Diana. Go ahead, and we're gonna wait on Sam. But Diana, tell us a little bit about what you learned from your mom.
Definitely, I got it from my mama.
So
first of all, quiero saludar a mi mamá en español. And well, what I want to say is, like, what she really taught me was to be a multitasking giver. So she would do so many things within one day, from running a business, to being a mother, to being a wife, to being a caretaker. And I really learned that from her. And she would do so many things in one day but what made it so different was her energy that she put behind it. So she got to accomplish so many things because of the vibe that she put in it. So she really taught me what it is to have good vibes in everything you do. So everything you touch and everyone you speak with or you interact with, you actually impact their life in a good way or a bad way, as minimal as it is, because there's some people, we never know what someone is going through. So at that moment when you just give them a smile or you ask them how their day is, it completely changes the day going forward, as small as that is. So that's one thing that I'm very thankful, because now that I'm doing it myself, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of things to do in a day.
Yeah.
To take care of everyone's needs, and then including yourself. So that's one thing I learned from my mama. I got it from my mama. It's all in the vibe. And I just learned so much from her. But that's the one trait that I'm like, wow, she did so much in one day. How did she do that? And I often tell her, man, I'm so sorry for everything I did to you because I was a brat. And you were so patient with me, and she always advised me and was always there just to encourage me as a creative. Okay, well, if you don't like this, let's try this. And she never gave up on me in any way. So that was super important to be so loving and so open, and that carries over now because I'm so open and free and non-judgmental, and not a lot of people are that way because of their upbringing. So you learn it as you go, but I learned it, through my mama.
Yeah. And I just want to say something that you made a good point, that our mothers always took care of us, and they, like my mom, she worked, 50 hours a week. She did so many things, and then came home and took care of us, took care of her parents. So, I'm doing as she did. I watched her do and take care of my grandparents, her parents. So, but we forget about ourselves. The caregiver often, just like our mothers did, forgot about their own well-being, their own health by, even if it's just as little as getting your hair done or taking a bath or going to the doctor. Like, that is something that.
And that happens more often than we think, because we are on high speed, just moving, and our minds are set that way. So when you try to slow down, like when this COVID thing happened, my mind was still racing 120.
Right.
But there was nowhere I could go. There was nothing I could do. So it took me a minute to kind of pump the brakes and actually stop mentally, because my mind was still trying to do everything, but I couldn't do anything. So it was a weird feeling. where I kind of had to like isolate and be like, oh, I didn't understand because I had a little like switch go off that I couldn't do.
Yeah.
What I like always, your little routine, like we're creatures of habit. So
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And you can't be with the people, you know, your family or your friends. That makes it also difficult. You want to go and be with them or see them when you want to see them, and when you can, it makes it very, very hard for sure.
yeah.
So,
Diana, you made a statement that triggered a creature of habit. I mean, I think moms also are really good at that. You know, they instill so many, you know, good life lessons inside of us. And so hearing that word creature of habit just, you know, makes me think back some of the memories and stuff that my mom shared with my sister and I, you know, either routine or, you know, whatnot, but you know, it is important.
yeah, for sure. Well, since Sam, I think we can hear you. You might be frozen, and your mama is watching too. She says hello. So
Can you guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. You might be frozen, but that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I think back to, you know, some of the things that my mom instilled in me that, or that I witnessed, you know, how she took care of other people growing up that have applied to caregiving at some point in my life. I remember back when I was very young, I was sick for an entire summer with an ear issue. She loved to swim. And my mom knew I was bummed. I'd look out the door every day, see the pool, see my brother, you know, in the pool and not getting to do it. And she did everything she could to create a new positive atmosphere for me and make it a positive time. She, you know, created a new normal for me. And I think that's very important for someone you're caregiving for, because everything for them, in some cases, it's a slow transition to things gradually changing, but in many cases, it's abrupt. Their life changes very quickly. And so it's hard. They're going through a lot, and it's hard for them to get their own new normal and their own new routine. So I think it's important for the caregiver to do what they can to help with that, to create that environment and create that setting for them.
Well, we totally agree. I adjusted since you know we all are manually trying to do all this, and this is a new software. Sam, it seemed like when we took people off the screen, your voice got better and the motion got better. So, you know, I hope that you were okay with that. But I wanted to make sure that your message came across. But it definitely made a lot of sense for sure. It's just things that we don't at the time think about, like Diana said. You know, she often thinks about calling her mom and saying, "I'm so sorry," you know, like it's, yeah. I want to start crying.
I now believe in karma, guys. I now believe in karma. You know that that saying where like your parents would tell you, well, wait till you have your own kids. I'm paying like for every single one. And that's when I call her, I'm like, oh, I'm asking for forgiveness ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what's coming. Oh, I'm so sorry. I even like asked God, I'm like, please forgive me. What can I do to make this better?
Absolutely. 100%. So I we do have time, and I want to remind people, I want to acknowledge the audience that is here and joining us, that if you have a question about caregiving, or you want to share something about caregiving, please leave it in the comment section for us, because we want this broadcast that we will, you know, be doing weekly to benefit the caregiver, you know, the future caregiver and the current caregiver. So, you know, we got these great traits from our mothers. A lot of people get them from different people, or they're just naturally born with it. I never thought I would be a caregiver.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I'm very motherly. I don't have any children. I've in the future stepchildren that I hope to be very motherly to, but I can say that I always tell people my parents didn't, nobody gave them a book on being a parent, right? And they did the best that they could, and they brought me into this world, and it took a village. And it's going to take a village to, you know, help them leave this world, you know, because we definitely revert back to, as we get older, back to children again. So keeping all these things in mind from, you know, every single one of the things that we learned from our mothers or our parents or whoever, you know, nurtured us, raised us, is definitely true caregiving. Like that's going to come in handy in the future. So I have to tell you that. B, do you have anything to say? You have any questions?
Tell us about your mama.
Tell us about your mama.
Oh. Oh, she may be watching, and I don't know if that's a great idea. No, I've learned so much from my mother. I can't even begin to start on the lessons I am still learning to this day.
Yeah.
From my mother. So very blessed that she's around and healthy.
Yeah.
You know, still kicking today, literally.
He gets a sense of humor and his organization skills from his mother for sure.
So you can sing the song too. I got it from my mama.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Juvie there.
And also, we want to ask the audience. I mean, have any of you felt, that karma is real? After just things that have happened in life that you're like, wow, I know exactly what I'm paying for on this one.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. 100%. My mom was this morning, or was it yesterday? I don't remember. But our funny joke is that we have HR. She's HR1 and I'm HR2. And until she has her surgery that she needs to have, she doesn't have HR1 position anymore. She has to listen to her caregiver. I'm HR1 and her, Sandra, shout out to her, is HR2. And my mom's like, oh, all these bosses and all these HRs. And I told Brandon, hey, baby, guess what? That's me when I get older over there. So just warning, be prepared.
Hey, your mom's still bossy. She's still a boss.
She is a boss, yes.
And I think that's so beautiful. And that's one thing that I do see in my mom, that, their minds are still running 100, but their bodies sometimes can't catch up. And that, it makes me really sad to see that, because they're aging, but it gives me so much pride that she tries to be so 120 all the time, no matter what. So shout out to my mama.
Okay, so let's.
Hey Kimberly,
Yes.
my mom just chimed in. Remember the saying, "Do as I say, not as I do." So maybe you want to share a little bit about the name.
Yeah. So thank you, Jeff. My mom used to say that all the time. She would say, don't, let's see if I don't mangle this. She would always say, don't do as I do, but do as I say, all the time. That's what she used to tell me all the time. And even when I had to have a heart-to-heart about me being her part-time caregiver, I told her, Mom, I'm doing as you did. I'm doing as you do. I watched you take care of Grandma and Grandpa, and that's what I'm doing, because that's what I'm supposed to do. So that's where the foundation's name came from, was do as we do. And because we want the next generation of caregivers to be educated and prepared. And the current caregivers, we want to support them, because there are 40 million unpaid caregivers in the United States currently. I learned that from the Ways and Means Committee hearing that I watched on November the 14th, 2019. 40 million people they work their day jobs, their mothers, their fathers, their, millennials and women are 25% highestly affected of that 40 million. And it is just something that we weren't prepared for, none of us, because we didn't talk about those things. So that's where Do As We Do Foundation, the name, came from, because I want others to understand that if they're not there yet, if they don't die but they live and they can't take care of themselves, they get dementia. There's 100 types of dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all these. If you get cancer, you name it, Lewy body's dementia. Like, if you can no longer care for yourself, then what are you going to do? Do you have a plan? So that's where the name came from. That's where I want to make sure that people are educated for the future, and in getting them any help currently.
Yeah, for sure.
Norma Valdez says, hey, hello, Norma. El Jeffy. El Jefe.
I miss her, Norma.
Yes, me too. She volunteered some of her services, so we'll be having to get back with Norma as well for sure. So, do we want to? I know Brian has some updates for us on the campaigns, so we're gonna go into that direction of getting some updates. Brian.
Actually, Sam, do you want to give us? I have some of the numbers. I'm just pulling those up right now. But do you want to give a quick rundown of what the fund is?
Yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me at least. So, caregivers are already a very much at-risk group when it comes to financial stability. So during this time, during the COVID crisis, we've created the Caregivers Relief Fund, and all donations to that, 100%, is going to go to help caregivers that are in jeopardy of losing their housing. There's many of them that were working jobs that they've been laid off, or the jobs just no longer exist. They're companies that have gone under, and it's already tough for them to find jobs to work with their schedule. So they're very at risk at any time when it comes to their finances. So the Caregivers Relief Fund is just to help them get through this crisis and help keep a roof over their head.
Just heard a statistic today: 1 in 6 American workers is currently unemployed. So they're, compounding effect for the folks that are caregivers if they have lost their job. So here's the update on our current campaign, the Do As We Do Caregivers Relief Fund. We have 12 donors for $845. Guys, I know we can do better than that. We are right there, so close to $1,000, which will make a huge impact for some very in need caregivers, and we really, really want to help. Our goal is set out for 50,000. That's a huge number, but we are going to keep pushing until we get there. We have a few months left. We have a lot of people to reach out to. I know times are tight, but we're not getting out there. We're not spending a lot of the money for the people that can help. We would appreciate to give to a great cause for some wonderful, loving caregivers in need.
Yeah, and we as a group have made it really easy. We created a Tears Challenge. I think we're going to throw up some information on the screen here for you. As Brian was saying, so many of us are, spending less. So, think about either bar tabs, whether, through work or through friends and family, less coffee purchases probably, but, we created this Cheers Challenge just to really grab your favorite beverage, donate, and then cheers everyone on either your social media pages and challenge your friends to do the same. So
by tagging them, yes, tag away, tag them up.
Yeah, and we're doing this on our own social media accounts, and so if you haven't been, you might be cheers to from us here soon, and we encourage you to do the same with your again friends and family.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't ignore us if you're tagged on something.
Yeah.
We're not spamming you. We're just trying to help the cause and educate you with Do As We Do. I do want to ask our audience, since we're barely opening up topics and this is fairly new, if you have any questions, if you have any topics that you would like us to talk about, and if you would like to be on camera as on yourself interviewed, please hit us up, send us a message.
Reach out to any 5 of us, 6 of us,
or just to our Facebook page, Do As We Do, or Instagram. And that way we can start developing topics on that and learning more about, or bring you on board for a live interview.
Yeah.
Diana, actually,
there's a question.
Yeah, they're perfect. Perfect.
There we go. Is Caregiving Relief Fund national or local? Great question. It is a national fund. So if anyone wants to elaborate more on that, but we are, this is a national fund.
Who wants to take?
I'd like to.
There you go, Sam.
I was just going to add, to give a hypothetical. So, I used to work on site, and a lot of people that are on eviction or about to be evicted, or they're at risk of going on eviction. It's not that they can't pay the entire amount that they owe. It's just that most often that most people are very resourceful, and so they're only short a portion. So if you imagine a caregiver, I mean, caregivers are by far some of the most resourceful people out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting help from everywhere they can to help cover their rent. And we can just help many of them with just a small donation. You can help many of them take it to the finish line and finish out the month. You know, they're getting help from friends and family, but we can help them with that small remaining amount they need to take them to the top.
Yes, we want to. I'm just going to speak from my perspective of being a part-time caregiver. My mom's. I feel very blessed that she had Social Security and she has her pension. However, her bills are more. Her caregiver, her medications, a lot of things, like I supplement whatever that she doesn't. Her insurance doesn't cover. So, and there are some caregivers that don't have that because, like Christina Brown, and this is a woman I discovered on the Ways and Means Committee. Please Google this. November the 14th, Christina Brown on the Ways and Means. She was 16 when she became a caregiver to her mother that was 46 years old, and her mother did not qualify for anything. She was in the middle gap, right? So as this 16-year-old became her full-time caregiver, by the time she was 18 and graduated from high school to go and become a doctor, her and her sister were working extra jobs. They're doing whatever they can do to help their mother, who did not qualify for anything because she hadn't worked long enough because she got sick. She got sick and couldn't walk, I believe. I don't remember the exact, illness, but she eventually couldn't walk anymore. So my point is that caregivers that were already unpaid family member caregiving, they were already strapped and stretched. So now more than ever, they need a little bit of help, and that's what we want to provide them. So thank you for that question.
I also have a question for our audience about pets. How pets really help you ease your stress. I know that my little dog, her name is Coco. And it's just so interesting to me that when I'm like really down or my vibe is really low, like she's just so close to me, protecting me. And I think that is so beautiful. And I'm pretty sure that all our pet owners out there have one of those stories that they could share with us.
Yes. My mother loves her puppies more than me right now sometimes.
How many does she have, Kimberly?
She has 2, Boots and Millie. Shout out to Boots and Millie.
Neither one is a puppy.
I'm just praying they last longer than, I'm praying they don't go first because she will be devastated,
I keep telling my mom I'm going to send her a puppy. And
you should. Maybe not a puppy, maybe like a adopted 2 or 3-year-old.
And I say pets because Sam has a different type of pets. Larger.
Do cows count? I don't know.
Anything can be a pet.
He's got more pets than anybody.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. How many pets do you have, Sam?
You can't get attached to them, that's for sure. It's not, yeah.
Attached to nothing.
Yes.
But connected to everything.
Correct. Yes, definitely. Well, I definitely, if I want to thank you guys very much for being here and for joining us. We all agree that education and preparation and financial literacy is the future of all those unpaid caregivers, and that's the most important thing. So that's why we're asking you these questions and asking you to tell us how we can help you, how we can educate you, and also asking other caregivers to come on and share their stories when they're ready.
We do have another question on here. Okay. How do caregivers in need of financial support apply to your program?
I missed that.
How do people in need apply for the program?
Oh, that's easy. Go to doaswedo.org.
Sam, would you like to elaborate? Just go to our website.
He might be frozen.
Yeah, just go to doaswedo.org and. Oh.
Are you frozen? Go ahead, Sam.
Go ahead, Sam.
I just go to doaswedo.org and there is a form right there on the main page just enter in your information, and then we'll reach out to you to get the process started.
And on our next episode, we'll have some screenshots to show you how easy the process is.
Yes. Brian and Sam are diligently working, thanks to SphereX, big shout out, and Approve Shield, working with those two companies. Approve Shield that are sponsoring, and SphereX showing their support to all these 40 million unpaid caregivers that we're hoping to help, and not just now during COVID, but in and beyond in the future. We're not going anywhere, folks. So more shout outs to I'm a Soap Addict, to Blue Jay Nutra, Short Productions, Salon D. Who else am I missing? Let me move.
Rich B, aka Realty, and to all our amazing volunteers. Thank you for doing it. We've been spending a lot of time behind the scenes, and this is just the beginning of something huge.
Yeah, and if you are wanting to do some sort of volunteering for us, we're still working on that list with one of us contacting you. We haven't forgotten about you all that originally commented on the original post on Facebook and the LinkedIn, as Brandon calls it. We're working diligently, so give us some time. If you know one of our cell phone numbers, please call us, because we will figure out how we can utilize your mind, your hands, your fingers, whatever it is. Number one right now, you can share the Cheers Challenge with people that you know is the first thing. Woo! Cheers. There we go. Yes. And you can also just let somebody that you know, we're getting our cheers. You can also let
the
someone
doctor's in the house. Sorry.
Healthy drinker over
it's
there.
A probiotic.
That if you know a caregiver that's not going to step up and say anything, because most of the time I can speak for myself, until I got comfortable with saying that I was having a bad day or I needed some help, did I realize that there were other caregivers out there going through the same thing. So, when I stepped up and said that I wasn't okay, there were other people that are not okay. And it's okay. That's what we're here for, to support you and encourage you and help you. And, right now we're going to support, with the fund, we're hoping to build off of this. This is just the start of many. So it is something that we're all passionate about, and we're all very excited to continue and see it past to, post COVID, if you will. And we will be here next Thursday. So please, if you catch us on the replay, make sure that you leave your question within the comments. Share the Cheers Challenge if you see it. If $10, if a $10 donation adds up, folks. Your Starbucks, your bottle of wine. I might have to start calling out some of my friends in the apartment business and let's talk about those bar tabs, folks. So, every little bit will add up, right?
Don't be shy.
Yeah.
And just stay tuned for the Cheers Challenge. You'll see it. You'll understand it the more you see it. You'll get more familiar with it. But please don't be shy. And join the Cheers Challenge. And also, we want you to follow our social media.
Yes.
All our handles, we'll put them out there. And please just, share. We want to get those follows to build up awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cheers Challenge is so much easier than dumping a bucket of ice on yourself.
Yeah.
And more reward.
Yeah, more rewarding.
Yes, it absolutely is. It's less messy. Please, come on, folks.
Oh, me and Bella did that, and it was so cool. Like, the scream that came out of us was so weird.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. It was very. Yes, and we want to thank everybody that watched us back again with, Ethel, Jean, Norma, and thank you again, everyone, and anybody watching on the replay. Just remember, and Carrie is definitely and Christy. I'm getting shiny pennies. Sorry, everybody that's showing.
Shout out to my brother, Martinez.
Yes, your brother. Yes, but to all the caregivers out there, just remember, it took a village to bring us into this world, and it's gonna take a village to gracefully take us out of this world. So just remember that and smile at somebody today, because it's going to be okay. Tomorrow is a new day. So you're doing a great job, and don't forget that. Thank you guys.
And happy
One
Mother's
last
Day.
thing.
to all
Happy
the
Mother's Day.
Happy
Yes.
Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
I'm going to start crying because I can't see my mama. I can't see my mama, so
Shout out to the
Happy
mom.
Mother's Day,
shout out
Mom.
to the moms. We love you, mama. Thank you all. Have a
Mommy,
good one.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye. See you next
Thank you.
Thursday. Bye, y'all.